Okay, when we are trying to figure out, when we're dealing with a quadratic, if we want to just know, hey, what kind or how many solutions am I going to get? Because we've seen we can get 2, we can get 1 if it's a double root, we might get 0 real solutions. That just means I would be involved. And so we've worked so far with factoring, we've done solving by roots, we've done drafting on the calculator. Sometimes all 3 of those things aren't the best in the world and they're still hard. Even completing the square works for everything, but it can get nasty. The quadratic formula is kind of our duct tape. It pulls everything together if all else fails. So what we're going to do today is discuss these 2 things, how they relate, and how they can help us out with some stuff. So we're going to start with the discriminant. That little guy right there. B squared minus 4AC. It's going to pop back up again here momentarily. So if the answer you get out when you pop your numbers in here, if it's greater than 0, in other words, if your answer is positive, you're going to have 2 real solutions. We'd even be able to see that on the graphing calculator. If the answer is exactly 0, you have 1 real solution, or we say a double root. Okay, when those parabolas kind of look like this and they go, just bounce off. 1 answer. Right there. And if it's less than 0, if it's negative, then you're going to have 0 real solutions, which would be too complex. So again, if I'm thinking picture-wise, that may be something like this. It never crosses the x-axis at all. Whereas, I guess I can draw a picture for this one, since we've drawn pictures for the rest. So everything we're talking about today can be looked at visually, as well as using this formula. Scooch that back over a little. So, find the discriminant, determine the number of real solutions. We're going to keep life simple. A, B, C. When you're doing these, make sure it's equal 0. If you have a number or a variable or something on the other side of the equation, they all need to be hanging out together. And when we go to substitute, I am a big fan, for multiple reasons, of using parentheses, especially if you have negatives that you're working with. We don't want to mix up a sign here. That can go directly into your calculator, your brain, however you want to do this. I get an answer, but that's not the whole story. That answer tells us how many solutions there's going to be. He's like, okay, I mean, this isn't, the biggest thing with this is just knowing what that's going to be. Let's play with one more here, just to make sure. I'm not going to pull any shenanigans like I do sometimes. What's that? No, you're just multiplying all 3 of those together. We're not doing a distributing thing.
Oh, wait.
Yeah, we're just multiplying those 3 numbers together. B squared, parentheses. Because if you don't use parentheses, you're going to get a different answer. So again, whole thing can go into the calculator like that. That wouldn't be a terrible thing. Or we can just kind of play it out here. If I get a negative. Most of the time, when you're asked for the number of solutions, we discuss it in the realm of real solutions. Like, hey, if I were to put this in a calculator, how many x-intercepts am I going to see? So I will take either of those when you're going along with these. But you want to know that if you were to find the solutions, then your 2 solutions are going to both have I with them. So that's kind of the big thing to remember with these as we're working those through. So that's all that there is to discriminant. All it tells you is how many solutions there are and what type they are. But we're going to build a little bit on that because that's what we do in here. So, now the quadratic formula, it may have been a while, but it's something you should have some experience with already. It's this stinker right here, but check this out. When people ask me, Hardy, how am I supposed to remember this? I say, remember two things. Number one, the discriminant is what's under your radical. And if you don't look at that, check out what's outside of it. The opposite of b over 2a, we've seen that somewhere before. Oh yeah, that's how I find the x value with my vertex. If you keep those two things together, you have all the pieces already. This isn't something new you've got to memorize. It's just kind of piecing it together. So, as I was saying on the other side, and this would be true with your discriminant as well, make sure you are equal 0 before you start, because if you're not, your values are going to be all messed up, and it's not going to be good. So, find the discriminant, determine the number of real solutions, then solve using exact solutions. In other words, don't give me decimals. So, let's play around a little bit here. So let's see, A is 1, B is 6, C is 10. We already have equals 0. We don't have to mess with anything. Discriminant first. B squared minus 4AC. Let's see here, 36 minus 40 is negative 4. That would be 0 real solutions. So before I do the quadratic formula, now I know my answers better have I in them or something didn't go right somewhere. Either I didn't do something right with the quadratic formula or I messed up the discriminant. So let's see what's going on here. All right, here we go. Opposite of B plus or minus the square root of B squared minus 4A, C. I love it. I normally don't do that till the second one, but you got it on the first one. I love that. Yes, I would absolutely do that. Let me mention what was just mentioned in case you're like, wait, what did he just say? That was like, woo, big brain idea. If I just did B squared minus 4AC here, again. So, yes, from here on out, I will take that advice because it's good advice. Just use your discriminant. So, negative 6 plus or minus your discriminant over 2a. Love it. So, I look from here and I go, okay, negative 6 plus or minus, oh, there comes my I out. It's been a while, especially on Halloween. Okay. I busted this out when you were doing I before even. This is not new. Yeah. That tells me how much we were paying attention. So, yeah, the eyeball's back out. Okay, so pull an I out. Square root of 4 is 2, so 2i over 2. Now, this is good. We can do better, though. If you can take something out of all 3 parts, not 2 out of 3, all 3, we got to do it. So we can take a 2 out of all of those. Negative 3 plus I, negative 3 minus I. 2 imaginary complex solutions. Everything checks. We're happy. We're good. So is there a lot of little stuff going on? Yeah, there is. I got to say this again. No, I'm not giving you the discriminant. I'm not giving you the quadratic formula. It needs to be in here by the time we get there. You have a little under a week to get it into the noggin. We can do this. Oh, dear. Throwing things around. Throwing in the towel already. Okay. Let's... Do I freeze frame it already? Yeah, I think it's time. All right. Freeze it up. Freeze it up for number 5. Let's do this. let's see here. B squared 4AC. We're going to use Charles's big brain idea. See how we're doing here. I did. Wait. I was close. All were close. Okay. Yeah, and those are some of the little things, again, that we're going to be watching for. Break down the radical, yes. Remember that that perfect square breaks down smaller. It doesn't just stay as that value, but other than that, we're good. Now, again, just to remind you, let's just do a what if. Let's say this denominator number would have been 3 instead. It doesn't mean I can cancel these and leave that whole. If you're ever going to reduce, it's got to be all the pieces, not just 2 out of 3, not just a little bit of this. We've always got to make sure that we get it all. And I have so many numbers of examples that we're going to do a couple more down here at the bottom. And then we're basically done with this. See, it is possible for a lesson to not go on and on. But again, at times, we may need it a little bit. It's okay. We're even going to pull something else into this. Make it a little better. We'll see. Okay, next one I want to do. I want to start getting into twists. Because, well, that's kind of important to do. So let's do 9. What do I need to do to 9 first? Bring that 35 over, because if we say our C value is positive 35, this is not going to turn out well. So, okay. 35 is over, negative 35. Let's rock and roll. So let's see here. B squared minus 4AC. I don't trust my brain. That is a big number. So let's see here. That would be 2 reals. So no I should be in play this time. If it does, uh-oh. All right, let's see here. Opposite of B, plus or minus. We've already done our B squared minus 4AC. Save me some time and effort. All over 2A. Ooh, let's see here. 484. Let's play. It's a perfect square. How about that? Negative 8 plus or minus 22 over 6. Oh, I got lots of questions here. First question, am I done? We can simplify. Okay, what would that look like? We can divide everything by 2. Okay, hang on a minute here. Okay. Divide everything by 2. I'll ask the question again. Am I done yet?
Is it a trick question?
No, I don't think it's a trick question. I'm asking an honest question. Well, that's what we're kind of doing here, but are there any radicals? Are there any eyes on anything? No.
That's a good thing.
That is a good thing, because it means I can get the exact answers. I can keep going. Oh, we do have to do all those things. Because we can get exact answers. That's like saying you solved an equation and you got 2 over 6 and you didn't make it 1/3. Or you got 8 over 2, more likely, and you didn't make it 4. If there's not a radical or an I that's stopping you from taking that fully out and simplifying it, you need to fully out and simplify it. Radical? Okay, that's an excuse. That's a legitimate excuse, but this one, no. Nope. That's like getting home late after your parents say, "Well, I forgot our address. That's why I'm late." It's like, no, that's not gonna fly really well.
What if we just moved into the house?
Trying to find the exceptions. I see how it is. I see how it is. All right, one last one this way. We're going to 12. I want to keep throwing the twists in because that's the stuff that tends to mess us up. Well, there's other things that tend to mess us up. I got to do it daily, like not doing the practice. Okay. So I look, I'm like, okay, I got this down at this point. Let's see here. So we got b squared minus 4ac. Ooh, this is going to be a big number too. Woofda.
Speaking, it's a very, very small number.
Exactly. Negative 696, a very small number. No real solutions. The I is about to come back. All right. All right, let's see here. The opposite of b plus or minus the square root. Oh, no, I don't have to. Why am I doing all that? Negative 696. Got that right there. All over 2a. All right. Let the fun begin. We know we get to pull an I out. But now the question becomes, what in the heck are we doing with 696? Let's see here. We could divide it by 4. Now, ooh, is there anything bigger? Let's do a little testing here. We know 4 works. 4 might be the only one. That's kind of a something. Yeah, I'm with you. Yeah, I think 4 is as good as it's going to get. Okay. So 4 and 174. Okay, that's kind of weird. So square root of 4 is 2. Don't forget to pull your eye out. 174. Over 14. Yes, and then we can still take 2 out of everything. 1 plus or minus I over 7. And that's the end. Again, we did the worst of the worst on these. Sometimes they come out nice, sometimes they don't. It just kind of depends. So you're like, okay, this is great, Hardy. If I can't come up with a solution using the calculator or something, got it. I got the quadratic formula now. But again, where does this come in handy again? I have an answer. Hardy's last answer. No, I'm not doing a whole page. Oh no. No, I'm doing something that, again, we were having some stuck times on other things. I'm making sure that this next quiz is like brilliance. All of the brilliance that you're all capable of. So you're like, all right, Hardy. No, that's like multiple schools ago, much less multiple classes ago. Maybe. We can do that as a fun day sometime. We just do long division. Okay. So, you're like, wait a minute, Hardy. Find the equation for the axis of symmetry and the coordinates of the vertex for the parabola. Okay, we've done that a bunch. Then, find the x-intercepts using factoring or the quadratic formula. Okay, we get a choice. Now, at this point, honestly, we should be able to burn through the first 2 parts of this. Axis of symmetry, hey, there's that opposite of b over 2a thing. It's part of our quadratic formula. So x is the opposite of b over 2a. Negative 1 over negative 2 is a half. That wasn't a fun way to start. Okay. Nope. You see stuff. All right. So now, with the 1/2. All right, people. Let me tell you how I'm going to be straight with you on stuff. I know how some of you operate at this point. So at this point, can I stick the negative 1/2 in for each of those? Just get an answer. Sure. Hey, I mean, we're all learning stuff here. Now here's the thing though. So x is a fraction though. So unless you want to have some issues with the table, remember, if you hit the graph and you just hit the trace button, you can type any x value in you want and get that. And I told you before, I'm not going to jump up and down and yell if you don't go in fraction mode like I do. I'm going to be in fraction mode. But yeah, it's the same as if you put 0.5, 6.25, I'm okay with that.
You can always just get the thing and then do math enter.
And we could do math enter as well. So that's a-okay. But now, the x-intercepts. Now, some of you are going to grin at me when I do this, but I'm like, I'll tell you. I know how some of you are. Some of you are going to be like, I don't want to do factoring or the quadratic formula. Watch this, Hardy. Big ol' to you. You're going to look at the chart and you're going to be like, ha 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 ha, I got the two things. I'm good. Here's the thing. Do you honestly think on a quiz I'm going to give you the x-intercepts? They're going to be whole numbers? No, I'm not going to do that. So, okay, and you can, but now let's be realistic about it. Let's do 14. Let's play here. Sure. So, yeah, I'm writing. Ooh, let's see here. What did I do? Oh, that's the opposite of B. See, I'm already screwing up. I'm trying to go so fast. 12/8, which is 3/2. 3/2. The part that's going to be interesting here in a minute is to see how you and I do this differently.
Y is infinite.
Y is infinite. Now, that would be an interesting case to deal with.
Well, it's just like mass. Wait, what? Oh, it's 0 because it's so big.
Now, for my chart people. You've got an option here. There's some shenanigans you can play, but I'm going to play different shenanigans. Because unlike some of you, I just love the Algebra 2 F word. It's great. It's my favorite.
I too like the F word.
Now,
Oh, that's just the vertex. Why?
in this case, it's just the vertex. But if it's not, this is where your tools are going to come in handy, and having more is a better option. I looked at that and said, ooh, perfect squares, 2x and 3, I'm good. And I worked it through, and I got my x-intercept quick. Could I have plugged these into the quadratic formula and got this? Absolutely. That's an option. So when you're doing these, you can't lock yourself into, well, there's only one way I really can do this. Because if you do, you're going to run into this problem. You're going to be like, uh-oh. Because the opposite of b over 2a, let's see here, -1. Wow, oh, sure. Okay, hang on. I'll sit here and twiddle my thumbs for a few seconds. I'll let you catch up. You're already ahead of me. Okay, all right. So, -1, let's see. So that'll be 4 minus 8 is -4 minus 5 is -9. Oh, what's my x-intercept going to be? Can I factor this? 2, 5, 2, 5. I cannot factor this. Quadratic formula, here I come. Quadratic formula. It works for everything. It is the duct tape of quadratics. Did I just really? Oh, no, I didn't need that. let's see here. Let's play. That's 64. That's negative 80. 64 plus 80 is 144. Oh, dear. I think those are all divisible by 8. They are. Wait, that's the square root of 144, Hardy. Come on. See, I'm feeling the pressure. I can't take the pressure.
I won.
What are the answers?
X equals -1. Vertex is -1, -9. X-intercept is, I think, -0.50 and 0.50.
Love it. Love it. I've never been so happy to be defeated in my life. Okay. So I'll say it again. Now, did you use a formula or did you go straight calculator? Okay. So, what you're starting to see here is there's even a third tool. You've got the calculator, you've got the quadratic formula, you've got factoring. So again, get really good at as many of them as you can because it just gives you all sorts of flexibility. Okay. Last thing, I'm introing into tomorrow with 16. Getting you thinking about it. Yeah, tomorrow is nothing but word problems.
Oh.
Companies' output and profit margin, we're thinking about money, people. That can't be a bad thing. Can be modeled by this equation. Okay, we'll give you the equation. What is the maximum output and what is the maximum profit? I think you're going to see if you go back and look that it's really similar, period. So what does this mean? If you think about a maximum, I hope not. Think about a graph. What's another word for that maximum? Starts with V.
Vertex.
The vertex. So all I need is to find the vertex of this, and I have it. So now again, you have choices. There's Charles who's for sure going to go to the calculator, 100%. I'm not. I'm still doing the opposite of B over 2A because I'm a dinosaur and I did all this stuff in my head before, so I'm still going to do it this way. And then I'm just going to plug the 10 in for each of those x's. This is going to take me a second, but it's not going to take me that long. Now, could you type that in your calculator and zoom it? You could. Like if I graph it normally, it's kind of going to go out of the screen here. Just a minute. Whoop, there it goes. It's up there somewhere. So again, zoom fit is our friend. Normally it is. Let's see if it is here. Maybe. You could, or you can just try to do the max and be like, Hardy, how am I going to see where the top is? Here's what I like to do. You notice how the y values are going up right now? So if I say, okay, I'm going to do my left bound here. I'm going to hit enter. Keep watching those y's. They're still going up, right? Once you see them start to go down, did you notice we hit like 405 and then I'm like, whoop, down we go. If you hit enter there and again, 10, 405. We still got the same thing. The tools. Keep using the tools. Learn about them. Make them work for you. If you do, this will be easy. If you don't practice them and do things with them, it'll be hard. And then you're going to be talking to me like 5 seconds after quizzes on